I could swear there was some point in my mind within the last few years where I kind of just dreamt up this project. Like I thought it would be really cool in some sort of faraway fantasy land that something like this would happen. And the fact that it was announced and it's here just kind of blows my mind. And I thought initially that this record was going to be some sort of indie abstract hip hop version of Watch the Throne. Now, that's not what this really is, to be honest with you. This is more like a co headlining tour where Mike is opening up for Earl Sweatshirt. But that's still pretty damn cool, to be honest with you. So here we are with the brand new collaborative project from Mike and Earl Sweatshirt, Pompeii Utility. Now, I want to start off by saying I am 110% in on Mike. I think he is a fantastic artist. He has been on quite the tear over the last few years. I feel like the turning point for his career was his 2021 record Magic. I feel like that was kind of the beginning of him really harnessing his sound and his voice. And he has followed that up with a string of really good projects, most notably his 2023 record, Burning Desire, which to me is his best work easily. I love that record. That is one of my favorite hip hop records of the last 5 years. Just an amazing work of art. And he followed that up with Pinball, Pinball 2, and his great record from last year, Showbiz. So I thought that for sure Mike was kind of taking the baton, if you will, from Earl Sweatshirt as far as being the face of abstract hip hop, or at least he would be viewed on the same level of someone like Earl or Billy Woods, for example. Now, when it comes to Earl Sweatshirt, I'm a fan for the most part. I am a bit more up and down when it comes to him record by record, but I do like Earl, and it's funny. When I did a review for his record from last year, Live, Laugh, Love, I jokingly started off that review by saying, is this a safe space? Am I allowed to kind of speak my truth and be a little critical of this release? Because I know how passionate, let's say, his fan base is. And then, of course, I proceeded to get a number of comments from people saying, oh, you don't get this, you don't know music, Earl's the GOAT, which then just kind of confirmed why I said what I said. Now, something funny that I want to point out, or maybe it's kind of a bit of a warning, don't listen to this record really, really loudly. Because the first time that I listened to it, I was actually listening to it in my car and I had it turned all the way up. And I was like, this kind of sucks. This sounds like shit. Like, why is this just all mush for some odd reason? But then I listened to it the second time on headphones, quality headphones at a proper level. Protect your ears. I need to take my own advice in that regard. I need to be better about that, but protect your ears. And I could hear every production choice very, very clearly. I could hear Earl and Mike very, very clearly. And I went from this shit sucks to this shit's fire. I really, really enjoyed the experience of this record. This is a near pitch perfect combination of abstract hip hop, cloud rap, and plug music. And I will admit, if you're not really into this sound, if you're not into experimental, woozy hip hop, you're not going to like this. This is not going to be for you. I can admit that for the most part, their music is somewhat of an acquired taste. But for me, this really, really works. But if you're looking for something that is really, really constructed in somewhat of a strict traditional sense, I will say this will be very, very challenging for you. I will say my only personal gripe with this record is that this is 33 tracks at over an hour, and I wish that there was more interaction between Mike and Earl, because pretty much disc one is the Mike record, disc two is the Earl record. And personally, I actually prefer the Mike half as opposed to the Earl half. I'm sure I'm going to be in the minority when it comes to that, but I enjoyed both halves very, very much. I really like this record overall. I had a good time listening to it. And also, I'm glad to see Earl staying active, because usually when he drops, he'll put out something and then he's just gone. So this was a very pleasant surprise to have this record, to be able to enjoy it. And also, if you personally like to partake in the green, for example, I would recommend lighting one up and just putting this on and enjoying the ride. Really, really enjoyed this. This is good stuff. 9 sticks of butter. Peace, love, butter.